You're lying in bed at 3 in the morning, replaying a conversation from 6 hours ago. Every word, every pause, every facial expression running on an endless loop in your mind. You analyze what you said, what they said, what you should have said, what they really meant. Your brain won't shut off. It keeps spinning, churning, dissecting every microscopic detail until the original moment is buried under layers of interpretation, anxiety, and imagined scenarios that never happened. You tell yourself you're just being thorough, trying to understand, making sure you didn't mess up. But the truth you won't admit is darker. You're not seeking clarity. You're seeking safety from something your mind refuses to name. Overthinking isn't what you think it is. The psychology books call it rumination, anxiety, analysis paralysis. They frame it as a cognitive distortion that needs to be fixed with breathing exercises and positive affirmations. But here's what nobody tells you. Overthinking isn't a thinking problem. Overthinking is an avoiding problem. And what you're avoiding is so threatening to your sense of self that your brain would rather torture you with endless mental loops than let you see it. Your mind has been lying to you, convincing you that if you just think about it one more time, analyze it from one more angle, replay it once more, you'll finally figure it out and feel better. You won't, because figuring it out was never the point. The old belief is simple and everywhere. Overthinking is just your brain being too active, too analytical, too concerned with getting things right. It's a personality trait, maybe even a sign of intelligence. You care so much that you think deeply about everything. That narrative sounds harmless, even flattering, but it's keeping you trapped in a mental prison where you're the guard, the prisoner, and the torture device all at once. Here's the truth your mind is hiding from you. Every moment you spend overthinking is a moment you're successfully avoiding feeling something your brain has decided is too dangerous to feel. Overthinking is emotional avoidance disguised as problem solving. Your brain is sophisticated. It knows that raw emotion, rejection, inadequacy, powerlessness, shame, feels like death to your ego. So it offers you a deal. Instead of feeling those things directly, you can think about the situation endlessly. You can analyze, strategize, replay, and predict.
Thinking feels productive. Thinking feels like you're doing something. Thinking feels safer than feeling. So your brain keeps you thinking, and you mistake this mental prison for insight. Sarah spent 3 days replaying a text conversation with a guy she'd been seeing. He'd responded with, "Sounds good," instead of his usual enthusiasm, and her mind wouldn't let it go. What did he mean? Was he losing interest? Did she say something wrong? Should she text again or wait? She analyzed every possible interpretation, every potential outcome, every way she could have phrased her message differently. 3 days of mental torture that felt like investigation, but was really just circling the same drain over and over. But here's what Sarah wasn't doing. She wasn't feeling the actual fear underneath. The fear that she's not enough, that people always lose interest, that she's unlovable. Her brain kept her in analysis mode because analysis feels controllable, while those feelings feel like drowning. This is the feeling shield. Your overthinking brain creates an endless stream of thoughts to prevent you from dropping into the raw emotion underneath. Because once you feel it fully, you might have to admit something about yourself, your life, or your situation that you're not ready to face. Marcus got passed over for a promotion at work, and his mind went into overdrive. He replayed every meeting, every email, every interaction with his boss. He analyzed what he did wrong, what his colleague did right, how the decision was made, whether it was personal or professional. His girlfriend told him he needed to let it go, but he couldn't. His mind kept returning to it, picking it apart, running through scenarios where he could have changed the outcome. He told himself he was learning from it, making sure it wouldn't happen again. But what Marcus wasn't doing was feeling the humiliation, the shame of being overlooked, the fear that maybe he's not as competent as he thought, the rage at being undervalued. His overthinking protected him from those feelings by keeping him in his head instead of his body. Here's what your mind doesn't want you to know. The moment you stop overthinking and drop into the feeling peaks and then passes. Emotions are temporary, but thoughts can loop forever, keeping you safe from the very thing that would actually set you free. The second layer is even more twisted. Overthinking isn't just avoiding feelings. Overthinking is avoiding action. Because as long as you're still analyzing, you don't have to make a decision or face consequences.
You're stuck in a relationship that's slowly killing you, but instead of leaving, you overthink it. You analyze whether it's really that bad, whether you're being too sensitive, whether they might change, whether you'll regret it, whether you can find better, whether you're the problem. This isn't wisdom. This is paralysis masquerading as deliberation. Your brain keeps you thinking because the moment you stop thinking and start acting, you have to face reality and all the uncertainty that comes with it. Lisa knew her job was toxic. She knew her boss was abusive, the culture was suffocating, and staying was damaging her mental health. But she spent 6 months overthinking whether she should leave. What if the next job is worse? What if this is normal? What if she's being ungrateful? What if she can't find anything else? 6 months of mental torture that looked like careful consideration, but was actually just fear wearing the mask of rationality. The overthinking protected her from the terror of the unknown, the risk of change, the vulnerability of putting herself out there. This is the action avoidance loop. Your mind convinces you that you need more information, more clarity, more certainty before you can act. But that certainty will never come, and your brain knows it. The overthinking keeps you stuck in a limbo where you never have to face the consequences of actually choosing. And here's where it gets really dark. Overthinking isn't just avoiding feelings and action. Overthinking is maintaining an illusion of control in a life where you feel fundamentally powerless. Your mind tells you that if you just think about it hard enough, analyze it thoroughly enough, consider every angle sufficiently, you can prevent bad outcomes. You can control how people perceive you, predict how situations will unfold, avoid making mistakes. But you can't. Life is uncertain. People are unpredictable, and outcomes are beyond your control. Your overthinking brain won't accept this, so it keeps you in an endless loop of mental rehearsal and analysis, creating the illusion that you're managing risk when really you're just torturing yourself. David overthought every social interaction. Before parties, he'd rehearse conversations, plan jokes, strategize how to appear confident and interesting. During parties, he'd monitor every word he said, analyzing people's reactions in real time. After parties, he'd replay every moment, cringing at perceived mistakes and planning how to do better next time. He thought this made him socially intelligent, but what it actually revealed was a deep terror of being seen as he really is. Imperfect, vulnerable, human. The overthinking was his attempt to control something that can't be controlled. How other people perceive and respond to him.
This is the control illusion. Your brain offers you endless thinking as a substitute for actual power. It feels like preparation, strategy, and mastery, but it's really just spinning in place, burning energy on the fantasy that if you think hard enough, you can architect outcomes and prevent disasters. So now you see it. Overthinking isn't a thinking problem. It's a fear problem, an avoidance problem, a control problem dressed up as intellectual engagement. And your mind has been running this program in the background your entire life, keeping you safe from feelings, action, and uncertainty. But here's the cost nobody talks about. While you're overthinking, life is happening without you. Opportunities are passing, relationships are dying, time is burning, and you're trapped in your head, replaying moments that are already gone, preparing for futures that will never arrive exactly as you imagine. The person you're interested in moves on while you're still analyzing whether they like you. The job you want gets filled while you're still deliberating whether you're qualified. The life you could be living dissolves while you're mentally rehearsing how to live it perfectly. Overthinking doesn't protect you from mistakes. It guarantees you'll make the biggest mistake of all, not living. Your brain thinks it's keeping you safe, but it's actually keeping you imprisoned in a mental simulation, while reality moves on without you. So how do you break this? You stop treating overthinking like a thinking problem and start treating it like what it is, a feeling problem, an action problem, a control problem dressed up as intellectual engagement. You stop trying to think your way out and start asking what you're avoiding. The next time you catch yourself in an overthinking loop, don't engage with the thoughts. Don't try to solve them or think them through one more time. Instead, drop underneath them and ask, what am I afraid to feel right now? Is it rejection? Feel it. Is it inadequacy? Feel it. Is it uncertainty? Feel it. Not forever. Emotions peak and pass in minutes if you let them. But your thoughts about those emotions can torture you for years. And then ask, what action am I avoiding? What decision do I need to make that I'm using thinking as an excuse to postpone? What leap do I need to take that I'm protecting myself from with endless analysis? And finally ask, what am I trying to control that I can't control? What outcome am I trying to architect through mental rehearsal that actually requires me to surrender and trust the process?
Rachel had been overthinking a conversation with her friend for days. Finally, she stopped, dropped into her body, and asked what she was really feeling. The answer hit her immediately: betrayal and hurt that her friend had shared something she'd told her in confidence. The feeling was sharp but temporary. Within minutes, it peaked and started to fade, and with it came clarity. She needed to have a direct conversation with her friend about boundaries. The moment she acknowledged the feeling and identified the action, the overthinking stopped. Not because she solved it in her mind, but because she faced what her mind was protecting her from. This is the pattern. Underneath every overthinking loop is an unfelt feeling and an unmade decision. Your brain keeps you thinking to avoid both. The moment you face both directly, the loop loses its power. But here's the part that will challenge you most. Breaking the overthinking pattern requires you to accept that you're not as rational as you think you are. Your brain isn't this wise counsel carefully analyzing situations for your benefit. It's a scared animal running protection programs designed for a world that no longer exists. Your overthinking brain evolved to keep you safe from physical threats by anticipating danger and planning escape routes. But now it's applying those same mechanisms to social situations, relationships, and career decisions. Where overthinking doesn't protect you, it paralyzes you. You have to stop trusting your mind's insistence that just one more round of analysis will bring clarity. It won't. Clarity comes from feeling and acting, not from thinking.
Your mind will hate this because it means surrendering the illusion of control. And that's the ultimate truth your mind has been hiding from you. You were never in control through your thinking. You were just trapped in control fantasies while life happened around you. Real power comes from feeling what's real, acting despite uncertainty, and accepting that you can't think your way into a risk-free life. So the next time you catch yourself spiraling, remember, your mind isn't helping you figure something out. It's protecting you from something you already know but don't want to face. Stop thinking and start feeling. Stop analyzing and start acting. Stop rehearsing and start living. Michael finally understood this after months of overthinking whether to leave his corporate career and start his own business. He'd analyzed every risk, every scenario, every possible outcome until he was paralyzed. Then, one day, he asked himself what he was really avoiding. The answer was simple and terrifying: the possibility of failing publicly, of proving his father right that he wasn't cut out for entrepreneurship, of discovering he wasn't as capable as he believed. The overthinking had been protecting him from facing his deepest fears about himself.
The moment he acknowledged those fears, felt them fully, and decided to act anyway, the overthinking stopped. Not because he suddenly had certainty about the outcome, but because he stopped needing certainty. He chose courage over control, and his mind finally went quiet. That's what awaits you on the other side of overthinking. Not perfect clarity or guaranteed outcomes, but the profound peace that comes from finally living instead of endlessly preparing to live. Your thoughts will still come, but they'll lose their hypnotic power the moment you stop believing they're protecting you. Because here's what changes everything. Your overthinking brain thinks it's keeping you safe, but it's actually keeping you small. It thinks it's preventing disaster, but it's actually preventing life. It thinks it's helping you, but it's been lying to you all along. The real risk isn't in feeling your feelings, making imperfect decisions, or surrendering control. The real risk is spending your entire life in your head, overthinking moments that are already gone and futures that will never arrive exactly as planned, while the present, the only moment that's actually real, passes you by unnoticed. Stop thinking, start feeling. Stop analyzing, start acting. Stop protecting yourself from life, start living it. Messy and uncertain and beautifully out of your control. That's where freedom lives, not in your thoughts, but in your courage to move forward despite them.